What's good, guys? Food Fight here, and today we're going to be breaking down a match between Ilija versus Gootecks, and this was at Evo 2014, and you can check their videos out on Evo 2K, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it'll be in the description, so go check that out there. And yeah, we're going to break down this matchup. I play Rose as well, so I kind of have a bit of experience with this match, and yeah, let's see how it goes. We'll get straight into it. You know, Gootecks obviously plays a lot of different characters. He's played around with Dalsim, Balrog. Well, he played that Balrog for a long time, but he's kind of messed around with a lot of them. But Rose definitely fits his style, and with the buffs of Rose in this game, it makes a lot of sense to continue playing her. Balrog's not really gotten much stronger, and the metagame hasn't benefited him that much. It's still pretty good for him, but not great. Whereas Rose, the metagame's actually helped her out quite a bit, just with the universal changes, with delayed wake up and stuff like that. And this matchup is definitely hard for Rose. The main thing that I think makes this difficult is Akuma's walk speed. So Akuma's walk speed is 0.055. and Rose's walk back speed is 0.035, and it sounds like it's pretty insignificant, but it actually makes a big difference, and we'll talk about it later because there'll be some examples of where walk speed is kind of everything. But we'll see how Gootecks approaches the start of the round. I like dashing back, so you get a gauge on your opponent. So you're going to see a lot of slide, and slides make sense in this matchup for sure. Like I said, the Akuma walk speed is generally really fucking good, and what slide enables you to do is basically punish Akuma for walking back and forth. Is definitely risky though. With a character that's got a free frame DP, it makes punishing it pretty easy, and on top of that, he's got a great focus which he can just throw out. Rose has ways of breaking focus. Mainly the ones that are best are with meter. Meterless doing a slide is kind of scary, just because like you expect the Akuma to be doing a lot of focus attacks, and at the very least, like, the walk speed allows him to get so close that the DP, the slide will be punishable with a DP or with a full confirm, but the DP is more reliable, obviously. Anything with a lot of active frames, actually getting a punish on it with a precise move is pretty fucking difficult. Mashing out a reversal is way more consistent, obviously. And yeah, throwing a few fireballs here, and you know, like, you're expecting Akuma not to throw fireballs at you, but when he does, you better take that fucking meter, because what makes a big difference in this matchup is Rose having at least one bar for EX Soul Spiral. One of the big things that have changed for her is the fact that if she can do an EX Soul Spiral, it basically means Akuma can't throw fireballs at you or do air fireballs. It makes a massive difference in terms of the neutral game. It means he has to play the sweep game, which Akuma's comfortable in doing, but it's definitely limiting his options. And yeah, you see more building Ultrameter, and this is the thing, right? So you're going to see right here, Gootecks punishes that sweep pretty convincingly, and goes for the mix-up afterwards. That mix-up doesn't really work anymore. In Ilija, I'm pretty sure it always crosses up, and you can get an autocorrect DP afterwards if they do it, and sometimes even Crouch Fierce works, which is weird, but it does. So Akuma has a litany of ways to blow up that mix-up, and giving Akuma any momentum just is a bad idea generally in this matchup. The good thing is Rose now has better damage, so she can actually keep up in terms of like pressure, just because it's more rewarding now. But definitely giving Akuma any sort of momentum is like a scary idea, especially now that he hasn't got any bar to spend, and he is in the corner. I believe there he tried to dash under. Let's have a look back at it. It looked like he was trying to walk under him. It makes sense. I mean, it's safer to slide under for sure, because your hitbox is lower, so you're less vulnerable to the dive kick. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty viable option. Saying you should have just crouched fierce, I mean, in retrospect, it's very easy to say that, but wanting to get out of the corner makes sense. Getting cornered by Akuma is where he's really strong now. And yeah, straight up into the corner, just goes for an overhead, and Okay, so, oh yeah, stand teching. I mean, even if you crouch teched. I mean, actually, to be fair though, he stand teched obviously because he wanted the positioning. He wanted to back throw basically, and get Akuma into the corner. And EX Tatsu as a frame trap isn't really as common anymore. I don't know why. It's still viable. Akuma has other ways to basically spend his meter, which is all really good. But if you're gonna tech at all with Rose, you should be teching with jab, not crouch short. So you can do plink jab into short, which will be the same as the normal crouch tech, except you won't get the short out, and it blows up things like setups like that will get blown up by it. It's very, very versatile as a tool, especially when her crouch jab is pretty fucking good. And yeah, once again, trying to get out of pressure with that backdash, it doesn't pay off. And he has got a lot of meter here, so going into the next round isn't too worrying. He's got an ultra, trying to get under those fireballs, start something. He obviously doesn't want to commit too much by burning 2 bars to try and start up a mix up. So like there, I felt like Gootecks could have probably easily reacted to one of those fireballs, done an EX Soul Spiral, then got the ultra. But in the reality is he probably wasn't going to come back. He was always going to have to be careful about Akuma's mix-ups. That unfortunately is just, that's a blow up, you know, is what it is. Missed the fireball. But yeah, jumping in at Akuma isn't necessary anymore, like I said, due to the EX Soul Spiral. That was very fortunate not to get blown up by that. It was a very, very deep slide. So this is the sort of range that I'm talking about where the walk speed becomes such a nuisance. So when Akuma gets in his crouch roundhouse range, his sweep, Rose can't walk back, basically. Her walk speed, her back walk speed isn't good enough to contend with Akuma's amazing sweep and his forward walk speed. So what you have to do in this situation is push them away. Ilija has been going to lots and lots of sweeps, obviously. So Gootecks should be representing stand forward, stand roundhouse, a little bit closer, just to push him away, because you want to play outside of the sweep range. If you're in it, that's kind of a bad position. That's where you can get fucked over and he can begin his pressure. So he's using the crouch strong, which is the quickest move. But once again, I do feel like going to this stand forward is pretty good. The stand forward is very hard to whiff punish, weirdly. There, he got it, but it was a counter hit. So I'm guessing Gootecks hit a button after the whiffed crouch forward. Yeah, it looks like it. It's pretty difficult to whiff punish. It's not impossible. Sweep is very good, but you should be using it as a tool to push them away along with the roundhouse. And that will happen from time to time when you try and throw a fireball, and he's going to put him back in the corner, start up some aggression. And here we go. He's got a lot of meter hit. That somehow paid off. Unfortunately, he drops a combo and is now burnt his entire bar, which is a very, very expensive mistake. I like that slide under the fireball, and unfortunately he does whiff on that soul spiral, but it doesn't matter too much. Going for the jump here feels a little bit like a panic. Like jumping in the corner at the opponent is a little bit better, just because they have no room to walk back. But from that sort of range, like Akuma could have crouched fierce and it would have been fine. He could have dashed out quite easily as well. And you really, with that, with the 1 meter, you should just be playing the defensive corner pressure game, where you just cage them up and just pressure them to death with like stand roundhouse, stand forward, because Akuma has to commit to punishing that button. The way the footsies kind of work in this matchup is Rose can crouch forward and stand roundhouse his sweep, whereas Akuma can stand jab and stand fierce, no, stand jab, stand strong, crouch strong, those buttons, which is a good option for him, but it's whiff punishable, so it's not like completely reliable, and unfortunately messes up the reflect. That's going to happen sometimes. And so yeah, like caging the Akuma in the corner, just trapping them there with the sort of like better damage you now get on your pokes, it's much more fruitful just going for that. Risking a jump, it's not worth it. to be honest. Especially when Akuma can no longer push you out with his fireball game. He has to come up to you, sweep you, and commit to some way of getting you off him. Or he's going to have to jump, which you can react to. So we'll go into the next round and see how the players have adapted. And yeah, here we go. Right, so back to the normal neutral game, meterless. So Rose is going to be focusing on building meter here and getting little scraped bits of damage. Building ultra is good too because it allows him to stop the pressure. There's a very gutsy soul spiral, and see, that does so much fucking damage now, which is brilliant. And on Akuma it's like even better. And although well, there we go, there's the ultra. I actually like that. It's a little far away, so you have to kind of worry about fireballs being thrown, but he actually does a great job of reflecting the EX. Wow. That was quite a peculiar situation. Let's have a look at that one again. So here, focused that and just got the crumple, which I guess is the last thing you'd expect from doing a low short. But it pays off. And yeah, it pays off massively, and he gets the full punish with Raging Demon, which is really fucking good, being able to react like that. But this does give Gootecks a lot of meter for a lot of scaled damage, and there we go. Once again, that was a count hit, so he was pressing a button. I'm guessing he was crouch teching. So one of the things you can take away is like jab crouch teching, brilliant. You should definitely do it, especially against Shotos. It helps a lot. Especially like this matchup, typically it doesn't. Oh, there we go, that's what I was talking about. That can be a bit of a nuisance, but to be fair, it's the first time he's actually gone to that poke, where he's gone to the stand strong versus the stand roundhouse. So there was a really good whiff punish, but in reality that move is such far range. If you've got Akuma cornered like this, you really shouldn't be giving him the opportunity to whiff punish it. You should be close enough. And yeah, so here he can just bully. This is exactly what he needs to do. He's going for a little frame trap there, but not overextending too much. And I like this, using meter just to keep him in that corner, and he's slowly draining away his health. Unfortunately, he wasn't looking for the anti-air. Good air to air though versus that air fireball. Air fireballs are a lot less useful in this matchup now. But you know, he still tried it, and Gootecks responded correctly, so that's great. And unfortunately misses the soul throw here and the wake up DP. I mean, Gootecks hasn't really had many opportunities to pressure, so going for a wake up DP there, you've got to feel like, because of the so few opportunities he's had, you know that when he does knock you down, he's actually going to want to set something up. And you know, he read it correctly, so it was totally worth it. And he's got a lot of rounds to work with here, and he had to do something ballsy. And there we go, Gootecks wins that round. Look, like if we go back to that match, like he got all of that damage from the corner. Like all of it was just corner pressuring him. Like playing in neutral with Akuma is really fucking difficult. I know I'm simply saying like, oh, use stand forward and stand roundhouse. It's definitely not that simple. Like you have to find some way of stopping him from moving about, which is near enough impossible for Rose to do without using slide, which is a commitment. Crouch forward is okay. Crouch roundhouse is alright from really long range, very whiff punishable and very punishable on block if it's too close. So this is an incredibly difficult matchup in terms of the neutral, but the one thing you have is a way to blow through Akuma's fireball game, blow through like a lot of his stuff and just corner him very quickly. As soon as you've got that meter, then you really need to just be keeping him there. If we look back at this round, like when Gootecks cornered Akuma, like, so he's on full health here, and now he's got him in the corner, and the whole time he kept him in that corner, like look how much his health drained. Like he did such a good job of doing damage, just scrapey little bits of damage, going for frame traps, like blowing up, trying to blow up Throtex and stuff like that. He did a great job, and Ilija did a good job of trying to fend him off, but it's just so far in Rose's favour that, you know, it's like quite easy for her to just get that sort of damage. But unfortunately misses the anti-air on it. But you miss the anti-air if you're a little bit too close, basically. That's what I think anyway. Like if you're at your stand roundhouse range and like, or just a little bit inside it, you're never going to miss that anti-air. You've got like days to react to it, and with meter you can just EX soul throw. So like if you're worried about him changing his timing, it's pretty easy to deal with it. But I definitely feel like in this matchup, overall, sorry, overall, like, I think Gootecks needed to kind of try and push Ilija away. Basically, in the mid screen, he needs to push Ilija away, and then play the neutral game where he felt comfortable, where he can punish Akuma for walking with slide or roundhouse, or, you know, all of these buttons he has to stop Akuma from getting into like too close. And then when Akuma backs up to try and whiff punish these buttons, that's when you move forward and edge him towards the corner. And by this point, you've hopefully built like one bar, and if Akuma starts to try and fireball his way out, that's when you EX Soul Spiral through, you punish, and then you go in for some aggression on the knockdown. Or if you're, you know, trying to be a bit careful, then you just corner him and just cage him up in there. Just keep him in that corner and just drain his life bit by bit. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I can think of to talk about in this matchup, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's awesome seeing, you know, Ultra being like, I've been kind of straying away from Ultra just because it was at this moment of flux for quite a while where people were not punishing Relento, and like every commentary I recorded was like, oh, he should be punishing that, but he doesn't know the button. And not everyone's like a total frame data fiend, so it took people a while. And but now, like, matchups are becoming more consistent, people aren't losing to gimmicks, and it's just becoming a more stable game. It's a lot more fun for me to commentate it, basically, and seeing a matchup like this, which is a classic matchup that's changed just slightly, is still cool to see. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed, and yeah, go check out all of the Evo replays. They're all fucking awesome. So I'll see you soon, guys. Peace.